Hi everybody, it's Judy here at River City Sewing, bringing you this week's video news. Well, this week at River City Sewing is still things ticking along, classes ticking along as we do our run up to Easter. And you'll see behind me is our Easter extravaganza, which is a big hamper full of chocolate and Easter goodies that we're giving away to one lucky person. Now, to be in the draw for the Easter extravaganza, you need to come in, purchase $100 or more within the store, and your receipt will have the Easter extravaganza printed on it. So pop your receipt into the drawer, and we'll be drawing this on Thursday, the 28th of March, so the Thursday before Easter. So you still have a day to pick it up and have fun with it over the Easter break. So anyone can enter, but there's only one entry per day, as long as you spend $100 or more in a single transaction. All right, so that's what you need to do. But it's loaded. It's almost like $200 worth of chocolate in this thing. So lots of fun things in there, and the team have wrapped it up so they can't get into the chocolate, and I've had to buy them extra chocolate because it's too tempting, right? So this is our Easter extravaganza. So if you're getting ready for your Easter projects, or if you're looking for something creative, now come in and have a look. You know, have a look around. If you're picking up a repair or you're doing something like that, that'll qualify as well. So get in and put your entry in, and you could be eating this lovely chocolate extravaganza for your Easter treats this Easter. All right, so lots of fun things. There's some Lindt bunnies, there's dairy milk stuff in there, there's Ferrero Rocher, there's even a traditional Italian Easter colomba, which is like a beautiful cake that's made like a bread cake. It's just gorgeous. So all that's in there for your Easter treat. So get in, get your entries in that drawer for our Easter extravaganza. Someone's got to win it. It's got to go, because we're not, if I opened it up again, the team would just get, it would just get smashed. So chocolate is a great thing. Even if you don't want to eat all the chocolate, look, that would be, you can disperse it through your family, friends, whatever, and have a great Easter. Or chocolate, this is your chocolate stash for the rest of the year maybe, okay? Because there's lots of fun things in there. So get in your entries for that. So that's a little bit of fun here at the store. So don't forget, if your docket comes up with this extravaganza Easter Rabbit Magician on it, then you can put a copy of that docket in our drawer. So make sure you put it in, otherwise you may miss out on this burst of chocolate. So as we head into the Easter break, make sure that you've had a look at your stash, and if you're sewing this Easter, do a stock take of all those things that you want to do. Many of you do that like to do that 4 days of sewing. I know a lot of you go away, but it is a good break. Just reminding everyone that we will be closed from 5 o'clock on Thursday the 28th until Tuesday morning. So if you are needing something, you'll need to have a look before Easter and make sure that you get your supplies sorted out, ready for your Easter sewing. So all good time if you're doing a bit of a after summer clean out of your sewing room. Good time to take stock of some of the items in your stash, restock a little bit, and be part of, get your stash ready for your Creative 2024. Now, some of you would have seen, I mentioned last week, the Stash Buster that we have. That is the 4 fabric challenge, and that is a good way to get you motivated to get those 4 fabrics in. I've got my 4 fabrics, and you would have seen them online. I haven't been able to sit at a sewing machine yet, but I'm looking forward to sitting in front of that machine and getting my 4 projects done. Now, if you're looking for inspiration for projects, there is lots and lots of different projects. And I guess if you have a look at your books again, have a look at many of you would have books or patterns that you've made previously, and why not do another one? Have a look at something you haven't made in a book. There's a lot of those fat quarter books, simple sewing books, all those kinds of things, and we've all would have saved a project from somewhere, if you've had a magazine or you've picked up a pattern at a show and you've never done it before, why not get it out and have a look? And if you think that you need a little bit of help, that's where we're here to help you get over those little starting points, especially with bag making or anything that you'd like to sew. If you're not quite sure how to tackle it, why not bring it in? We can have a look at it for you and put you on a path and maybe book you in. If you need a little bit extra help, maybe book you into a class that can get you started and get you motivated to get those sewing machines out. Now, I know many of you have got your sewing machines out and brought them in for service. So at the moment, the boys are doing their best to get them out. There is a little bit of a delay, up to 3 weeks for a service. Doesn't mean you can't bring them in, but just be aware that summer's finished. Everyone's got their getting ready for their creative 2024 by putting their sewing machines in for service. And if yours hasn't had a service for a long time, then maybe it's time, because if you have your machine and it's in good working order, you're less likely to get frustrated with it, right? So if you haven't sewn for a little while and your machine has been in the cupboard for a year or so, why not get it out, get it in and get it serviced and get started? There's nothing better than getting all excited about a project and being able to start with a machine that's going to work for you nicely. For those of you who've had your machines in the cupboard for a month or two, why not get them out? Give them their healthy routine. Just make sure your hand wheel still turns nice and easy. And if it does, then why not give it a run on zigzag for sewing machines? Or if you've got an overlocker, just make sure it's all oiled up as per your instruction and let it run. Give it a few lines of sewing. You don't have to sew anything, have a project to do. Just have some fabric that you can use as a sample. Pop it through your machine. This keeps it healthy. For those of you with embroidery machines, can you please at least bring your feed dogs up and run your embroidery machine on zigzag? That way, the sewing side of the machine and the feed dogs and all that kind of stuff gets some maintenance as well. So that's a little tip for this week. Look at your sewing machines. Make sure that you've had a run, and especially, I know a lot of you do embroidery with machines and don't do a lot of sewing on that machine. So why not give your machine some love by bringing the feed dogs back up, putting it into sewing mode and run a zigzag, okay? For about 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes, okay? Because it's a bit like driving over a track so many times with your car and you get big ruts in it. So the lubricant can only go in so many spots with the movement of all those mechanical parts in the bottom area where your feed dogs are. And if your feed dogs aren't being used, they can seize up. And in embroidery, those feed dogs get dropped underneath the plate, so they don't often get used. So it's really healthy for your machine to be able to have it both sides of an embroidery and sewing machine worked every so often. Now, I'm guilty of that too. I have a machine that I sew with and I have a machine that I embroider with. So every so often I still have to bring my feed on my embroidery machine, bring the feed dogs up and run it on zigzag. So that way everything's healthy. So if you haven't used the sewing side of your embroidery machine for a while, or if you haven't used your machine in a little while, or you haven't used your overlocker or your cover stitcher, why not make it this weekend that you actually get them out and give them a little bit of attention and run a few things through them. Now I say zigzag because everything moves in the sewing side. You've got needle position moves, you've got the feed dogs moving, everything like that. So it's a really good way it's a bit like starting your car in the garage if it's been sitting there for a month or two and not starting. So everything sort of starts to move, everything starts to warm up. So treat it like starting your car. This is starting your machines. And the same with using your overlocker and cover stitches is a bit like that as well. So this is a week for little maintenance of your machine. Change your needles out. Have a look at your needle stash. Make sure that wherever your machine instruction manual tells you to lubricate it, if it's there, why not go and have a look at that? If you haven't done maintenance, if you haven't cleaned out under your bobbin area for a while, if your overlocker's got dust all over it or the threads have got dust all over it, okay, now's the time. Get all that done, get the dirty jobs done, and then, change needles. give all your machines a little bit of love. How long has it been since you changed your needle in your overlocker? Have a think about that. I know we may not use them quite a lot, but can you remember the last time you may have changed them over? So these are little tips I'm giving you today that might help your sewing as you go through the rest of the year. Start with everything nice, fresh, new, clean and sharp, okay? Because there's nothing worse than we see some of these machines coming in that haven't had needle changes for 2 years, okay? That's not good for the machine. I know they might be sitting in a cupboard, but how long before that had the needles not been changed? All right, so let's do a little bit of fun maintenance with our machines this week and give them a bit of love. If you think that they need a service, bring them in, put them in the queue to get the boys to do the service on them and get them in ship shape ready for your next project. For those of you who are not sure about what needles to put in your machine, all those kinds of things, take a picture of your machine before you come in. We need to see the machine and the model number because some machines do take different needles, all right? So if you're not quite sure, if you have a packet of needles, and don't forget baby lock owners, some of you have got that little secret compartment up in the top where all your accessories go. On a lot of the baby locks, you might find that you have a packet of needles in there. But if you're not quite sure, take a picture of the front of your machine, and generally on overlockers, there'll be a little needle information put on the machine, either embossed into it or stuck on the front. And take a photo, bring that in, and we'll be able to help you with your needles. All right, so, well, that's a little bit of maintenance for this week. Now, in store this week, like I said, we've got our extravaganza happening, and you know, there's lots of fun things to get you started with your Easter sewing. All right, so no new models this week, but I will tell you about Benina's doing a great deal on the Benina 735. Now, the 735 is a 7 series machine, but it's 5mm. For those of you who loved your 440s and all of those machines that would have the smaller stitch width, the 5.5mm, then the 735 is on special at the moment, and I'll put a link in here to give you all the details about that. So it's on for the month of March. So if you've been thinking about a Benina but you don't want to go to a 9mm machine, why not have a look at the 735? It's, you know, a beautiful large machine that you'll get lots of space in, but you won't, you'll have a maximum of 5.5mm, so it's well worth a look. And for those of you who do have or love Benina and you would love a Benina embroidery machine, we have a special offer on the 700E, which is the embroidery only 7 series. So big embroidery unit, big hoop, great offer on that. So why not have a look at the links in and the information here in this email, and we'll be able to get you sorted with a great offer on those 2 machines. Now, there's lots of other things going on. I know that there's some AccuQuilt stuff going on. There's some overlocker feeder specials on from Pfaff and Husqvarna. There's some AccuQuilt dies on and some AccuQuilt specials on. But one thing we did want to mention yesterday, we got advised that the Go Big cutter has increased in price, effective immediately. So if you were looking at a Go cutter, then we don't have stock left of the Go Big, but it is increasing quite significantly in price. So if you are interested in anything to do with AccuQuilt, why not come in and have a look at that. Now, there's lots of interesting things still in store, lots of books, lots of patterns and all those kinds of things. This week, because it's maintenance week, I thought I would just put these links in the email for you for something new to look at this week. But make sure you come in and have a look at the Easter extravaganza and make sure that you get your entries in for that particular giveaway, because someone's got to win it and it may as well be you. So from Judy and all the team, thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you in store. Make sure that you get your entry in, and we look forward to seeing you in store and having a look around the store and getting ready for your Easter. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.